Welcome, everybody. Today we have a very special guest.
I knew early on that I wanted to make movies.
Such a difficult industry because there's a lot of luck involved.
I mean, look at American Werewolf in London, look at The Thing, look at The Fly. Look at these films that have really withstood the test of time.
I sculpted this Captain Kirk mask, and they didn't sell particularly well, but then John Carpenter came in, said, can you paint one white and spray paint his hair black?
I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, and it scared the living shit out of me.
You're just racking up these people that you grew up watching. They're in your films. Is that surreal?
There were 35 directors there. If there had been a bomb dropped on that restaurant, never another good horror movie.
Prendes bloody bits.
I'm Ava, and I think Mary's going to get the most drunk because she always gets the most drunk.
Come on! We should go to the abandoned Simmons House.
I'm 1,000% in.
Oh, welcome.
Oh, what is that?
Sarah?
There's blood!
So we're okay? Get out of here!
Welcome to Triple B. My name is Jason Benet. Today we have the cast and crew of a new horror film from the Asylum called Heretics. I have director Jose Prendes and actors NEELEY DAYAN and Anna DeRusso. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jose, you're a veteran of the Asylum. How does this found footage film Heretics find its way onto your lap?
You know, I never thought I would do a found footage movie, and I'm not a massive found footage fan. I've seen a ton of them, but I've never thought of attempting one. But a buddy of mine was producing one, and it was at sort of at a time where I was really jonesing to make a movie. I was in early pre-production on another film that I was dying. It was being held back for script issues and development reasons. My buddy said, "Hey, we're making a found footage movie. Would you be interested?" I'm like, not really. But then he said the magic words, creative freedom. And I'm like, oh. I was like, well, there's no script. You do have to shoot it in 4 days, but no script. And the 4 days thing was a tripping hazard for me. It was like, look, I shot a movie in 6 days and that nearly killed me. I've shot 3 movies in 6 days. They're not fun. So we can't. There's no way we could do 4 days. And, with a traditional camera setup and all that stuff. However, if I can shoot it on my phone, we can do it. And the producer said, yeah, sure, shoot it on an iPhone. And then literally it was the most relaxed experience making an Asylum movie I've ever had. Such a blast. It was literally like going back into film school. And it was the easiest for me. Creative freedom. I didn't have to worry about lights. I didn't have to worry about any kind of technical issues. It was just me and the actors and a creepy house in the woods. It's a dream come true. That sounds, but you know what I mean.
So, NEELEY, can you talk about the prior film you did with the Asylum before we get to Heretics?
Yeah, of course. I just recently did the film Alien Rubicon with Asylum. I played Leanne, so it wasn't like a giant part, but it was fun. I kind of got a sense of filming things really quickly and how the Asylum works, getting everything done really fast. And yeah, they're a powerhouse with that sort of thing. So,
but your role in Heretics is huge, and you're probably the smartest one of the group that actually has common sense that says, let's not go to this house while everybody else is quick to go get killed, not realizing that's coming, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was especially fun in the beginning to get to be like the common sense person that a lot of horror movies lack. Like, why are we going here if everyone's died in this house? So it was kind of fun. A little bit of my own attitude came out in that, which I appreciated watching it. I was like, oh.
And the person that leads you down this path is played by Anna, which is Mary. You've worked with Jose before. Can you talk about Monster Mash and then how you got into Heretics?
Yeah, so I met Jose actually in December of last year when he cast me as Pia in Monster Mash. And it was a really tiny role, but I came on set and Jose has such a great energy and he made it a really fun experience, even though I was only there for one day. And then, yeah, I got an email and in October or late September about that he had a film that was starting in 2 days and if I could get something on tape. And I was like, honestly, I had such a good experience with him in his last film. I was like, absolutely anything for Jose. So I got something on tape and they ended up going with me, which was exciting.
So the group question here, was it a 4-day shoot? Did it go shorter, longer? What happened?
4 days.
Now, one cell phone, I know there's different people recording at times. How did that work?
Oh, it was mainly mine. I upgraded to the 16 so that the producers could feel good about, super 4K or whatever. And then whatever other, so everybody had a phone. So it was just, hey, let's use your phone angle, or just here, take this out. Make sure you get that phone to the digital guy so we could dump the footage. We have that take. So we just kind of traded off. And quickly, just to circle back to casting, Anna, actually both Anna and Neely were late additions to the cast. They didn't officially tape. I got brought into the project super late, and normally I like to spend time and I like to meet the cast before we shoot the movie. Sometimes we have a table read. This would have been different, but I would have had some kind of, I don't know, improv exercises or whatever. We're having trouble casting these 2 specific roles. These are really my leads right here. These ladies, and they were really tricky roles to cast, and we couldn't get it. And we it was almost like a viral thing where, like, oh my god. In my mind, I said Pia, and like, and like, oh, Monster Mash, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's see if she's available. And Neely, I hadn't worked with her before, but my producer had, and our main producer was a fan, so it was sort of a thing. Hey, if they're free, they got it. They don't need to. I mean, I know they wanted you to tape, but Neely, you didn't have to tape at all, right? You just kind of got it.
I found out like the day before, in the afternoon. They asked if I was free. I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm not doing anything all night, so sure. And yeah, luckily I have previous improvisation experience, so it wasn't too scary, but I was definitely like a little nervous.
Me too. Sorry, go ahead.
I was scared, I will admit, when I heard it was all improv.
I was worried too, to be honest, because you never know what you're gonna get, and we can talk about the improv. I'm sure you're gonna go there, Jason. So I'll let you roll with that.
Since their roles are so significant, maybe it's a good thing it's improv, so they actually didn't have to sit there and study a script that was going to shoot in a day or 2. Maybe that worked better.
Maybe, I mean, definitely, 100%. Because I've luckily none of my sets have been like that, but I've been on sets where I'm literally holding the script off camera and saying, "Okay, yes, I am a scientist." So, and that never works. So I think having to come at it in an organic way made it not only fun, but hopefully it feels fresh on camera. It doesn't feel rehearsed, because it's not really.
So I know Jose's a big horror fan. What about the ladies? Do you like horror films? Do you stray away from them? They're not your thing? There's no wrong answer, by the way.
Well, I'm personally obsessed with horror movies, and I even told Jose, like, when we first started, that I would not be the person saying, let's not go to this house. Usually I would be probably like the Mary of the group saying we should definitely go to this haunted house, even though it's a terrible idea. So that was funny. But yeah, I love horror movies. I've loved them since I was a kid. And I love ghosts and things like that. So
if you can only pick one go-to film, comfort movie, what are you going to watch?
Well, I think like one of the first ones that I ever really enjoyed was The Ring. But I also like sort of like psychological thriller-esque. I'm not as into the gore ones, which was kind of what this was, but yeah, more like ghost, I would say, yeah.
What about you, Anna?
Yeah, I would say I actually stayed away from the horror genre for a really long time. And it's funny because I get cast in a lot of horror shorts and horror features, but I was really taken by psychological thrillers, as Neely just said. And I saw in college Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh my God.
And that film just started me down the rabbit hole of like thrillers, and that's how it went. And I also wanted to comment on what Neely said. I think it's funny because I definitely would be like her character and be like, no, I'm not going, you guys go, I'm staying. So I feel like we kind of have a character swap there.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So Jose, Heretics is not, it's psychological at times, but would you say it's your most violent and goriest film to date?
Yeah, and that was another reason I took it, because of creative freedom and the fact that we could get bloody with it. You know, the Asylum is averse to violence and gore for ratings reasons or whatever, but here they kind of just said, all bets are off, go have fun. You know, how could I say no? You know, it's almost, it's like a kid in a candy store kind of situation. And none of this would have worked if it wasn't for the fact that the cast was so good. Like Anna, you know, I was trepidatious about the improv. I'm not a fan of improv. I think sometimes it could be embarrassingly bad, and I worried that we would be there. But I was blessed with an incredible cast, a cast that not only because within 2 hours, but we're up for any emotional challenge I wanted to throw their way. And that's rare, especially for young actors, to be able to have that flexibility, that organic feel to their acting. I mean, it's I absolutely, you know, was blessed by the movie gods, you know.
Speaking of trepidation, Neely, you got to handle a gun. Was it real? Without saying too much or giving away too much. It looked like a first-person shooter game at one point where the gun just kind of is out in front of you and
yeah, no, I've never handled a gun, and I don't know if was it a real gun. I wasn't really sure, but you know, I kind of just held the phone like this, and I think a lot of the realism with that came from the after editing, you know, making people look dead, because I was just kind of like that.
Yeah, it wasn't real. It was a replica, you know, stage gun kind of thing.
And what about Anna? Without saying too much, did you do any kind of stunts or anything that was kind of adventurous?
No, you know, I can't remember. I don't think I had to do any stunts, but we did film in a really cool location where we were in some very small hallways, and we got to all run around in those hallways, and it was a scary experience, especially since we are filming ourselves. It's not like we had a crew running with us, and we were actually really in a haunted house, and I was actually scared as we were running through it. And actually, Jose made us all go in by ourselves prior to shooting.
And you know what sucks? I can't find that footage. I don't know what happened to it. Well, okay, so we shot in this guy's backyard, and he has this homemade haunted maze. The cast was, you know, scared about going through, but I said, okay, but I want everyone to go by themselves, and you have to film yourself going through. And obviously I was going to jump out and scare them, but I can't find the footage. I don't know where that went. I'm so mad.
You made
anyway,
everybody go one at a time by themselves?
Well, actually, I think, Neely, you went with Taryn, right?
Yes.
So there's that. But yeah, I'm bummed I can't find that footage. I was gonna put it on our physical release when that comes down the line, but we'll see.
So
if I can find something.
As you're overseeing production, how do you keep everybody in a good mood, camaraderie, teamwork? Are you guys going out to dinner afterwards? Getting, you know, I think it helps chemistry on a movie if people can get along to a point. I mean, obviously, when you go into a job, not everybody's going to be best friends. That's just the way life works. But you're kind of the head honcho, so how do you work that dynamic?
Well, you know, because a part of me doesn't have any kind of authorial, you know, stamp on the proceedings, because I didn't come up with the dialogue. I did come up with choinks. That's my contribution, which I hope will go on to, you know, viral success down the line. But the actors said everything. That it's I pointed them in the right direction, but it's they filmed it. They basically scraped together the plot. So in terms of having the overseeing, it was more kind of like, okay, now let's focus on this scene. In this scene, you have to do this. You have to go over here. You have to say this. Then I'm flash that over here, and then that triggers you to go, okay, we got to hide over here. And then luckily we had the time, even with 4 days, because there was no setup, where we could say, all right, let's take it again. I didn't believe that. Let's try it this way. I think you're saying that a little too hard. I think you're not as convincing as you should be. And then just sort of playing with those kind of ingredients. That's sort of what my job was, which it is different because there was no, we had a goal, we had a story, but we were literally making it up as we went along in an experimental sense. But my job, and I think what I love to do, is make sure that everybody on set's having a good time. And I want to be the biggest idiot there so that everyone can smile and like, hey, look, it's stressful and we're running out of time or whatever, but we're making a movie here. This is an amazing, people are going to get a chance to do this. Let's have as much fun as we can. And then I'll go freak out in private so they don't know that I'm really stressed. But that's, we didn't have time to go out to dinners and things because it's 4 days, back to back. I don't think we had a day off. Oh, I think we did. But 4 days back to back, and it's overnights. People are tired. But we bonded a lot in the green room during lunch. And I mean, this cast literally became a family, which is incredible that it could happen in such a short amount of time.
So graveyard shift, you're working overnight?
Oh yeah.
What do the ladies think of that schedule? I actually do that. My day, it's not even my day job. It's my overnight job. It flips you around. How do you guys adapt to, some people have regular jobs. They have to go to 9 to 5, yet you're shooting overnight. Even though it's only 4 days, that could throw you off for a while. So how do you guys deal with the scheduling?
I think the hardest thing was that because I was casted like so late in the process, like I was going on set in 2 days, there was no time to like flip your schedule. So you kind of just had to go right into it. And then I do remember quite clearly, though, the day that we wrapped, I was like, I'm going to stay up all day and get back on schedule and go to bed at night. But I did find the overnight shoots challenging because that was my first time ever doing completely overnight shooting.
Yeah, I think I'm like naturally a night owl, so it wasn't too bad. And I also love energy drinks, so I just drank a lot of those. And I think in some moments being overtired or like stressed out about, just from being tired helped with the performance. And a lot of it, honestly, other than we weren't actually being, hunted down, I think a lot of it was kind of like a real experience. Like these houses, you're watching the movie and you're like, wow, that really looks gross and real and weird. It's like, it's real. It really did look that way. So a lot of it was just kind of us reacting to the actual thing that was being presented in front of us. And so being tired helped, in my opinion. And
you guys are young. I think that helps a lot too. Jose's over here with the drink already, and it's only 5 in the evening, but
6 cups.
So Jose, you go from working with Doug Bradley to Michael Madsen to Eric Roberts. Talk about working. Everybody could talk about Eric Roberts, but you go ahead and first, Jose.
Sure. I was hesitant to the idea because you're making a found footage movie. You don't normally think, oh, let's put a celebrity in it. That makes sense, because you want to believe, the verisimilitude of it being real. That this is footage that was found. These people were murdered. But then you see Eric Roberts. You're like, oh, Eric Roberts. Okay. Obviously it's not a real murder footage, but yeah. So it wasn't my idea, but it was honestly, it was a producer note. And so we had to appease it. And the idea of Eric Roberts came up. I had not worked with him. I've heard a lot about him. He's done a ton of asylum movies. And I think for both of us, I talked to him on the phone the day before. So I actually, more than these guys, I was able to talk to him before about the movie. and we were both excited about the idea of improv, of just kind of shooting from the hip and like here's what the scene's about. Let's try and get there. And was distracted at the time because he was on Dancing with the Stars. So his schedule was booked, man. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's certainly, he's not a spring chicken. So this guy's dancing his ass off all day, and then he comes to hang out with us, at night. He was there, only for one night, for about half the night, but he was a trooper the whole time. He never complained. He always had a smile on his face, and if I said, "Hey, let's try this," he goes, "Okay." He was never. He never pulled the diva card, which is nice. So I have nothing but nice things to say about Eric. I think he was great.
You guys can talk about Eric or the other cast members who are not present. There's some guys that are in the movie. Girls want some eye candy as well. And there's plenty of it. Let's be honest. There's a nice balance there. Attractive people on both sides.
Yeah, actually, Neely got to work with Eric, sort of. I mean, you have the most scenes with him as dad. So I'm curious if you had any chance to talk to him about your relationship and everything.
Yeah, I think he and I, we spoke a little bit here and there, like in between takes, mostly casual things. He asked, "What number of movie is this for you?" I was like 2. He's like, "Oh, this is like, I couldn't even count how many movies for me." He's very nice. I mean, I'm a little bit shy sometimes, so I wouldn't say we had like long conversations, and he wasn't there as long as the other cast members. But he was nice. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun.
He's got to be in the hundreds, right? 2, 3. He's like a Danny Trejo. Like he just keeps getting movie after movie. I'm sure you're gonna go check IMDb. That's okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna do that right now. Yeah,
I'm gonna say
it's got to be a lot, man.
325. He's been doing this for 30, 40 years, and
oh, wait, no way. That's impossible.
Whatever it says is probably accurate.
968.
Wow. I was not.
That's impossible.
No,
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that is. Nobody's ever going to come close to those kind of numbers. It's just crazy.
No, that's
so
crazy.
The Asylum is known for mock busting. Obviously, A24 has their film Heretic with Hugh Grant. I think they're similar with the religious things, but completely different films. Has anybody seen that one yet? Heretic.
I have. I liked it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you didn't like it because Jose, ladies, he don't like anything. Jose hates. That's why he created Master Chaos, so he could push all his opinions to this alter ego YouTuber.
I could do that, yeah.
I could tell his reaction was, I liked it. It's okay.
I thought it was good. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't watch it again, but I thought it was well made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies. Anna and Neely, you guys haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it either. I just know that. Okay. So I want to talk about this little road trip thing that you took the cast on, Jose. I think I saw footage of it on YouTube. Were you trying to scare people again? What was going on there?
It's just a tradition. I take. Sometimes it's a wrap party. Sometimes it's before the movie if we have time, as a bonding experience. I did that for the cast of Exorcist. I took them on a haunted hike into the woods, and I told them a couple ghost stories. One that was personal to me, and we shared just a nice kind of relaxing time in the woods at night, as opposed to one where everybody's running around screaming and being chased by devil worshippers. This was a nice, more relaxed experience.
So what about this premiere that you had over the weekend? I saw chaos outside the theater. What happened?
It wasn't even outside the theater. It was like it was the street over. A couple of us had gone to a bar, just to after party kind of thing, and then all of a sudden fire trucks filled the street. I think there was a fire in a building across the way, and we saw smoke, but it didn't seem like a big deal. But that entire Brand Boulevard was full of fire trucks. I don't know what the shit. Like they called every fire truck in LA. But it didn't seem like a big deal. But as far as I know, nobody got hurt. I didn't hear anything, that was like, oh my God, you guys got to evacuate. So it wasn't necessarily a big deal, but it was interesting to be there, It looked like a movie set. It looked like a big old, disaster kind of movie set. But it was not. It was just some building burning to death. But that's it. That's the story.
So you hear those stories about films that deal with the devil, or in this case, Lilith, that, sometimes you get some bad mojo that comes your way. I don't think one's connected to the other, but just seems kind of ironic with some fire and brimstone very close to, I think this is in Glendale.
Yeah.
And this is the one theater you always go to for your cast and crew screenings for the Asylum films?
Yeah, they always they in LA they always hold it at the Laemmle theaters in Glendale. At least for like the past year, that's been the main theater.
Now I want to know what everybody has coming up next. I believe, Jose, you're about to hit double digits in directing with your film that comes out next year.
Yep. My 10th movie. We just finished the director's cut today, and we're gonna do finishing touches tomorrow, and then the producers get to see it and tell me that it sucks. Doing that. Before we go into that, I do want to shout out the rest of the cast. I think because you asked. Again, a movie like this is not possible without an amazing cast. I want to thank Scott, Sarah, Taryn, Shelby. Is that everybody? Am I missing somebody? I'm missing somebody. Oh, JJ and JJ. Love them. Incredible. Of course, these ladies. Incredible cast. So Killer Doll will be out in June. That'll be my 10th movie. And then I got a couple of things in the fire, but nothing is 100% happening at the moment. But filmmaking is kind of nuts, and you never know what's going to happen. Next week, I could have 3 movies I have to deal with. So right now, my focus is on Killer Doll and telling the world about Heretics.
I'm assuming that release date's to coincide with, I believe, Blumhouse has Megan 2.0 come out either next summer or next fall, kind of keeping with the doll theme.
And it's crazy that they made me film so early, because they're just gonna hold on to us until June, because we'll be done in March. So I don't know. It'll just be sort of on the shelf for a bit, just because they want to do the coinciding. Yeah.
Neely, you have anything going on? What can you tell us without getting in trouble?
Nothing specifically. I'm always auditioning, just trying to get back on set as much as possible because I really love it. But nothing specific at the moment.
That's okay. What about Anna? What do you have?
I've been working on, as Jose knows, a lot of dramas, a lot of romance dramas. But I'm trying to get back into more horror films and such, which is, short films have not been so abundant this year. So I'm hoping that I can get some more horror short films or films for next year.
Hey, Anna, quick question. How scared are you? Damn it.
I'm so scared.
It's an inside joke. She doesn't like werewolves. We'll just go. Well, we'll talk around it. We don't have to mention it.
Does anybody know how to break through to get into Hallmark Christmas movies? Because they make like 100 of those a year, and Neely and Anna look like they could be on the poster of those films. And even people like Fred Owen Ray, who directed cult films for 40 years, is directing these Christmas films now. It's a nice segue. They keep working. Look at Lacey Chabert. She's done like 30, and I'm not joking when I say that.
She's the queen of those movies. Funny enough, I'm working on a Hallmark style horror movie, but it's just a script at this stage. So it's one of those things where it may just remain on paper forever. But before we go, Neely and Anna, what is your favorite memory from shooting the movie? This is our first interview, by the way, Jason. You're breaking the movie's interview cherry here. So Neely, what's your favorite memory?
Probably when I peed my pants a little bit. I don't know if this is something that most people should mention in an interview, but yeah, I knew that this person was gonna pop out of the door. I had been told, I had been prompted, I knew exactly when it was gonna happen, and still it really just frightened me it was a real scream. And the same thing happened when I was being chased at some point. Jose was like, I know that was a real scream because it was not like a pretty girl scream. It was a real scream.
Yeah.
I got freaked out. So, yeah, probably those two moments.
Yeah, Neely was easy to scare, and Anna, oh my God, Anna was the easiest person to scare. But you can tell when they're really scared because like it's not an actor scream, it's like a holy shit, I'm terrified scream. I love it. Anna, what was your favorite memory?
My favorite was when so we all had to film. We are the ones that are holding the camera, and we did this one scene where Neely and I are hiding behind a couch with Aaron, who's played by Taryn, and I got to film that scene. And it was the first time I was brave enough to film it, and it was just the coolest thing to see. It was a scene that really heavily features Taryn, who again plays Aaron, and he just killed that scene, and it was really cool to be the one to film that. And that was, I think, my best memory of being brave enough to finally take the phone camera and film.
You were the best, by the way. You were the best cinematographer of the bunch. So good job.
Next one, I made him film all of my stuff because I was so scared I was going to ruin the movie by messing it up.
You did great.
Where can everybody find you on social media? We'll do Jose, Neely, Anna.
Okay, Mr. Jose Prendes on Instagram. Master Chaos on what's it called? Letterboxd. And I review pretty much everything I watch. I try to watch as many movies as possible in my lifetime. That's pretty much it. Neely.
You could just find me Neely Dayan on Instagram, or just most of my social medias are just my name. So
there you go.
Yeah. And
but
for
before
me,
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for me, it's Instagram, Anna DeRusso 20.
I almost forgot. Where can people watch Heretics?
I'm good. I figured you were going to segue into that.
I almost forgot. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Right now, it's available in pretty much every streaming platform. Apple TV. Hold on, I have a list. Dish Network, I want to say. Okay, Charter Spectrum, Comcast, Xfinity, Verizon On Demand, Fandango at Home, Apple TV, Google, Microsoft. It's also available on the Hoopla app, as well as it's still in theaters in 5 places around the country. For the rest of the by the time you're watching this, probably it's out. But yeah, so hey, we get a theatrical release and we shut it on our phones. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. I'm pretty happy about that.
Last but not least, are we going to see a Blu-ray, DVD, some physical media?
I have been told yes. Whether that does materialize, I don't 100% know. But I'm leaning towards 80% yes. That's happening, and we'll have an extended behind-the-scenes thing. It was filmed by a buddy of mine, and we may or may not do a commentary track. We'll see if we have time to do that, but we'll try. And we don't really have bloopers because pretty much everything is in the movie. But we'll have as much special features fun as we can if it's a good release. But I don't have a date for that, unfortunately.
Thank you, Jose, Neely, Anna, for spending some time with me. Thank you to everybody for watching, and have a great night, and stay scared, and talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.